Hey everybody, tag Life Done Free. Hey, thought we'd do a quick viewer comment video. These are my favorite videos to do because you guys just rock and are super smart, and I get lots of great ideas. So if you're interested in whatever else talking about, come on, check it out. Hey everybody, I'm Tag.
And I'm B.
This is Life Done Free. Hey, today we are going to do a viewer comment video like we typically like to do. But before we do that, I wanted to share an email. And I'm not going to share who sent it or any of that kind of stuff because I don't know if they would want it shared. And, I don't want to betray that. But anyway, I got an email asked about how I dealt with betrayal. And, someone important in their life, kind of stabbed him in the back and how do you go on with it? And I just thought I'd share with you guys my answer because I think it's super important. And, there's a lot of kinds of capital out there. There's, money, what you spend, but there's also energy capital and time capital. And, energy capital is the most important one. And so, my answer to her was, how expensive does she want the lesson to be? And kind of what I meant by that was, the more time you spend on it, the more expensive it is. And at some point you have to get to a place where you say, okay, can I change it? Can I affect it? And if the answer is no, you got to find a way to move beyond it. Doesn't mean you necessarily forget, but you do forgive, and you just kind of go on. And I've always said that the greatest word in the English language is next. And so my advice to you, and I know you're going to watch this video, is just control your energy, manage your energy, and understand that the best word in the English language is next. Got anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think too that it's good to find these things out now, while you still have choices.
Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start with the horseradish and peanut video. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, so Diana Tennant says, I like horseradish, but I do not like it plain, but I like the flavor of it and things. I actually put a couple of spoonfuls of prepared horseradish in Sloppy Joe's baked beans and meatloaf, but not much after it's cooked and baked or whatever. But in the meatloaf, it makes the meat almost taste like it's either mixed with sausage or was sausage. So I think that, I'm a big meatloaf fan.
Yeah, I've never tried horseradish in these items, but I'm always looking for a different spin on, all-time favorites. So I think that's a good idea. I'll give that a try. I've tried different things in our meatloaf. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've noticed over the years, the recipes have changed.
I have not. So it must not be that much.
Not that noticeable.
It ain't that noticeable.
But that's a good idea. I will try that.
Yeah, thank you, Diana. Cindy Hart says, dang, I detest heartworms. They love tobacco, peppers, and tomatoes. I spray my plants with Monterey BT early and continue until they are gone. It is an organic product. Nasty things, those hornworms. Best thing is to pick them off by hand and feed them to your chickens.
I was going to say hornworm, not heartworm. Mm-hmm. You said heartworm.
Did I say heartworm?
Yeah.
Yeah, heartworm's probably a nasty thing, too.
Yeah. I don't want that either.
Yeah, no.
Hornworms.
Yeah, if you guys remember from this video, in the beginning I showed you a bucket that Bethany was putting worms or caterpillars and bugs down into, and then we always take them over to the chickens, and they know we're coming. They see that bucket, and she'll dump it out, and they're gone in
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, that's a treat for them.
Yeah. Yep. Cindy also says that she can't wait to see how the horseradish turns out. And then she quotes roast beef sandwiches.
Yeah. I like horseradish on roast beef sandwiches.
Yeah. Well, one other point she makes in her comment is that she loves boiled peanuts. And I've never tried a boiled peanut. Peanuts aren't super common to where I live.
I've heard of that. Mm. I think they boil them in the shell.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not 100% certain, but I think so.
Yeah, but if Cindy or anybody that's watching this video, leave a comment. Let us know how you go about boiling peanuts, and we're going to try some. And I am sure they're delicious.
They don't eat the shell then, I don't think.
I don't know, babe. I don't have any idea. I mean, we don't walk around and find a peanut farmer around where we live.
Right.
I mean, I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. And I've lived in the Midwest pretty much my whole life, other than when I was in the service. So.
Yeah,
right. I don't know.
I've heard about it, but have not.
Okay.
Not much.
On the Community 4 video, Elijah Ministries said, "The shadow pictures of things unseen are revealed by the sun in the early morning light. Faithfulness and the love for the truth makes chewing that rawhide soft, supple, bearable, and strong when pulled in every direction. Let us return to the Garden of Eden, a place not often found in the world of illusion called Mystery Babylon." I like this statement.
I'm not quite sure what it means.
Well, I think what he's saying is that, that faithfulness and love of truth allows you to get through anything, right? And then with that truth, return to your Eden. This is our Eden, right? We did all of this to be more self-dependent, right? And to create our own Eden.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then he says, instead of a place not often found in a world of illusion, right? Modern day, social, the new media.
Right.
I mean, and nothing you read out there is real, right?
Yeah.
And so I really like this. This is a deep comment, and the Elijah Ministries always has deep comments, and sometimes he or she, which I don't know which one it is, when they send it over, I'll spend a few minutes trying to understand what they're telling me and the message that I'm trying to, that they're trying to get me to receive. And but I really like these kinds of things, and so I hope the Elijah Ministries, keeps sending me this stuff, and I'll have to go check out. I'm not sure. I think they have a YouTube channel. If they do, you guys should go check it out. But maybe someday I could get them to come on and the show and confuse me and everybody else. But it's good. I really like it. I mean,
makes it more palatable.
Yeah, really, really, really like it. Lisa Holloway says, "Men, these videos have really developed a need for self-evaluation in myself. I've been going back and actually been going through the videos and writing down the questions and asking them for myself to be honestly aware of my own actions when the time comes." Let's just stop right there. This is a long comment, but I really like this. And I've said this in other videos before. I want to be around a whole bunch of like-minded people who are capable of self-evaluation.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When you can see in yourself flaws and have the power to change them.
Rare.
Yeah, especially when you're right up in it, when you're in that chaos and you're, it's hard to take a step back and go, whoa, I need to probably check myself.
Yeah.
Or maybe I should have done that different.
Yeah.
And then two, to take that upon yourself to then change it, make it right, or to change whatever it is inside of you that you can not only better yourself, but better the people who are around you.
Yeah. I think my message to everybody on this is every one of you listening to this video today are flawed. You are a flawed human being, and just like me and just like B, and you got to recognize that you're flawed. You got to recognize you don't know everything. And so I really applaud that statement. She goes on to say that this week that she had to make a stand and uphold an SOP. For those who don't know, SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedure, for the safety of their community. Now, I don't know if this community in here is a prepper group, a homesteading group, a church. I don't know, but she said those involved asked for the policy. There was no policy. Instead, it was just an SOP. It was not well received, but I held the line. I believe we must act for the greater good of the community. The only thing I would say here is get that SOP in writing. If you guys are going to use SOPs, get them so that if someone asks for them, you can hand it out. There's another really part of this that I think is really big when she says, "I believe we must act for the greater good of the community while at the same time allowing freedom of personal choice." This is interesting because the greater good of the community is socialism.
Yeah.
It's what it is, right? While at the same time allowing freedom of personal choice. And this is the teeter-totter in a group right here. This is the meat of it. This is where all the problems, I'll say all
the fights.
This is where a lot of them come on is, do you do things for the greater good of the community, or do you allow personal freedom? And
that's where the SOP comes in.
That's where the SOP comes in, right? And really understanding how this is played out and how the greater the good trumps personal freedom, but only in very tiny cases, right? And this is really, really big, and I hope everybody goes back and reads this comment, because it really, I think, talks about what happens and kind of what goes on. One final thing in here, I'm going to skip a couple lines here, but she talked about how she found that there was a group building a community or a compound or whatever, and that she was interested in learning, and she asked them how does she see more, and that they kind of got, you know, their backs got stiff and their mouths closed, and she says that now I know I would not be accepted into this community even though I have things to offer. Here's the thing, Lisa, keep trying. Don't give up on this, because the thing is, if I was, and again, I don't know how this all went down, but let's say I was in Tractor Supply, or which is a place I common, and I'm walking around and someone walks up to me and, you know, hits me with something like that, I'm going to put up a wall instantly. You know, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, come on back to the farm and, you know, let's look at all the stuff we're growing, right?
Right.
I mean, so sometimes, right? And then also I think I would add that preppers and homesteaders generally are recluse anyway. Right? They don't. We really want to lock our gate and hide behind it, and, you know, so keep on it. Don't give up on it. Work on building the relationship first.
Yeah.
Right? Try to become friends with one of them.
Or if they have, if she has things to offer this group, maybe she should put that out first and say, hey, I have this, you know, skill or, you know, whatever that I would like to share. Yeah. Maybe her putting herself out there would have then allowed them to say, hey, yeah, I'd like to learn that skill. Yeah. And then they would come to her, and then...
You know, for me, though, I think I would... And this is just me thinking, and maybe it's because I've been in sales my whole life, right? And I've been on that side. So if someone came up to me and said, hey, I'm a brain surgeon and you really need my skills, that would almost, to me, throw up a bigger wall. A little bit. I would rather someone just say, hey, how's it going? You know, what you working on? I see you got some, you know, chick feed in there.
They're already talking. They've already been introduced.
Yeah, this is hard because you don't know the context.
Yes.
And I don't know it either. But anyway, moral of the story, Lisa, don't give up on it. JNN Caudill says, healthy boundaries save a community from unnecessary toxicity. Not everyone belongs in your circle. Agreed. My husband is an excellent protector that saves us from unnecessary hardship unapologetically.
As he should.
Yeah, right. And you have nothing to apologize for, JNN. I think healthy boundaries are super important also, you know, and I think it will save the community in a lot of cases from unnecessary toxicity, which I really love that statement. And you're right, not everybody belongs in your circle.
Right.
You know, setting those boundaries, I'll tell you, I'll make a long story short, but there was a big study that was done. I think it was at Harvard. This was many years ago. But anyway, they put a professor in front of a class, two different professors, two different classes, same size. One showed up the first day in a suit and tie and was hard, and through the course of the year got easier. The other one showed up in Bahama shorts and was super easy, and during the course got harder. So the complete opposite. And in the end, when they talked to the students coming out of it, the one that started hard and got easier, they learned much more from. Oh. Because he set those boundaries early on, right? And he set the rules early on. And so I really like this statement.
Yeah.
Julie F. says, this was my favorite video yet. It covered many topics I've been struggling with, finding community and how communities can work together. I found myself agreeing with the majority of the views each of you expressed. I especially agreed with the comment, family is not always blood. I'm still hoping one day to find a tribe I can build a community with. I also like the idea of building your own town. I got a lot to say about that. So first, a couple things on this, and I'd tell this to anybody. You know, I have been involved in these kinds of groups for many years. Lots of different ones. I've got a lot of experience at that. If someone wants to reach out to me, or you're curious, or you got a question, tag and be at lifedonefree.com. I will respond. I respond to 100% of them. Sometimes it might take me a day or two. Just depends on where I'm at, right?
Right.
And I'm traveling or whatever's going on, but I will absolutely get to all of them. The thing is, guys, is that timing is everything. And I think with everything going on in the world right now, many people are starting to look at, wait a second, something's not right. And so I actually think it's a great time to be out there working, but you got to put yourself out there.
Yes.
You know, you can't just sit home in your little cabin on, 20 acres of land, whatever it is, and saying, hey, I can't wait for my community to come to me.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. You have to be able to put yourself out there. And then my final comment, and then you can comment on this, is I shall build a town. Okay, it's not an idea. I am going to build a town, and it's already way in the works. And I'll tell you guys how it works for us here. So I'm not going to get into any logistics or numbers or any of those kind of things because I think it's bad. But anyway, we've been trying to, every time a piece of property comes up within a 20 or 30 mile radius of where I live, we're trying to place like-minded families in those properties. And we do that because they get their own sovereignty, they have their own property, they make their own decisions, but collectively we're strong. And so we've had some success at it. There are people that have been on my videos who that exact happened to. We found a piece of land came up, we got it done, and now they're close enough that we can work together. And so again, anybody has any questions about that, you can feel free to reach out to me as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Because they will not come to you.
They will not come to you. You got to be willing to give of yourself.
And there's a lot of weirdos out there.
There's a lot of weirdos out there. Yeah, so I mean that's a really good thing too we talk about communities and about OPSEC, right? Don't kiss on the first date.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Do you remember remember the sandwiches? We don't want to be around that guy. And then all of a sudden he's not necessarily so bad.
Yeah. And it's a clue, not a conclusion.
Yes.
Go meet them in a public place, go to a farmer's market, go to an auction, whatever it is you do to meet people. Don't just bring them home.
And if you see them out and about, say hi to them.
Yes.
Go up and say hi to them, because the more interactions you have with those people, the more you're going to learn about them. It's not just one time, don't like that person.
Yeah. jdlmax says, if a person has supplies to take care of themselves, then they should be allowed to keep it for themselves. If someone needs help, then they should submit to having their preps go to the community. Large farms, grocery stores, and other strategic resources should be automatically defended immediately and become property of the larger community as a whole. Anyone who doesn't have a job would be the first to have the rations cut if food stores get low. Hard labor jobs and most important jobs like defense and food procurement would be the last to have the rations cut. The book 1 Second After is great to help you think of the situation objectively. It's available on YouTube as an audiobook. Highly recommend. So B and I have read 1 Second After and 1 Year After, and it is a great book. We refer to it as Patriot Bear because it's just how when we remember it. And B and I talk about it quite often. There's JDL. This is really articulated well. I like it a lot. There's a couple things that I would say in this, though. And I'm not being harsh. I'm just saying, you talk about how if a person has supplies to take care of themselves, it should be allowed, they should be able to keep it for themselves. But then in the very next sentence, large farms, grocery stores, and other strategic resources should be automatically defended immediately and become property of the larger community at whole. So to me, what about the guy that owns the large farm, the guy that owns the grocery store, and those kind of things? If he had the supply, should he not be allowed to keep them, as you mentioned in the comment above?
Yeah.
So I think this gets into gray area. And I don't necessarily disagree with you, because my first priority would be my community, but I would have to ask at what expense. Anyone who doesn't have a job, would have their rations cut first. If you have somebody in your community and the shit's hit the fan and they don't have a job, they're being poorly managed. Hard labor and most important jobs like defense and food procurement would be the last to have their rations cut. My question there would be, who determines what the most important job is?
I say that's kind of arbitrary because...
Well, it's arbitrary, but it don't need to be, right? I mean, I'm assuming, JDL, that there's a SOP ahead of time that says, hey, these are your...
Different.
Right. Well, I'm sure that's what they're referring to. But I think it's these kinds of things you really got to work through.
Yeah.
But JDL Mac, I really like this comment, and I hope to hear from you more because I think this is just really well written.
That's where the SOP would come in handy.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Marie says, so many great comments in this discussion. For me, it's really important from the very beginning in creating community, like-minded. Flexibility is key to realizing, to survive, we have to work together. Those coming together simply have to agree on a basic tenets to live by and be willing to give up sovereignty based on the situation. Pretty much what you all were saying. Yeah, and I think this is really the essence of it. The most important thing that Marie says right here is they have to agree on basic tenets. And I think if you can agree on a basic 4 or 5 or 6, I'm not going to steal from you, right?
Yeah.
It's your property's your property, whatever.
That's where the SOP would come in handy.
Yeah. So I think this is really, really well said, too. And thanks, Marie. Let's move on to B's processing kitchen. Yeah. Right. God, that thing's been the bane of my existence. Mandy Garrett says, oh, my world. Oh, I love this comment. She says, "Oh my world, B, I love your ideas and style of this dream kitchen, which happens to be mine too. This reminds me of the kitchen we have in my country, Laos. My parents were very well off because they had a transportation business, so they had a piece of land and were able to afford a main house and a separate kitchen. There were 6 of us children, so we have space to run around. I was too small to remember all the details, but I do remember that our outside kitchen was big, efficient, and does the job of making food, but just not as fancy as yours. This brings so many memories of what life of freedom was like. My family and I came to the United States in 1968 in search of freedom from communists. We worked hard and appreciate the life in America. We have always believed and looked up to America as our dream world for a better life in every aspect of life, but just never dreamed that America would turn into what it is today. Although it's very sad, I still believe we have hope as long as I keep my eyes and ears away from the mainstream media. That's good advice. Naysayers, that's good advice. After all, they all have their own opinion. After all, their opinion doesn't make me who I am. And keep watching and learning from awesome people like you and B, who took the time to show us the progress of living your dream life free from slavery. I normally don't open up and share this deep, but something about your beautiful kitchen makes my heart full, and it gives me joy to see you're living your dream. Thank you." This comment gave me goosebumps.
Me too.
Yeah. We've got, Mandy, if you remember, if you get into the community videos, there's a guy in there named Data who's in all of those videos. He's a first generation American, and his mom left the Philippines to get rid of tyranny and to come to America. And he shares a lot of these same things, these same thoughts. I'll tell you guys this: we live in the greatest country in the history of the world, in my opinion. I love my country. I am a red, white, and blue guy. I defended my country, and I would do it again. Now, with all that said, I hate where it's at today. We've allowed the politicians, corporations, bureaucracy to completely enslave all of us. Your mortgage, your credit cards, all of the things that the things they make you pay for, the Affordable Care Act. I mean, all of these kind of things are just more modern day slavery, and we've got to break the chains, and it starts with you. You got to go out and take that first step of living free.
This is a beautiful story.
Yeah.
I like that she has memories of these things that she could pass on and share to us.
Mm-hmm.
This that is the whole purpose of the kitchen is, we gather around it and we, have to do something with the food that we're doing, we're growing and harvesting. So this is, I'm hoping that our children have the same kind of memories.
Yeah. Mandy, you inspire me. This was a great story, and I'll think about it often. Bare Bottom Homestead said, "Processing kitchen looks amazing. I hope to see it in action one day." So, okay, I got to tell you guys a little story. So, typically when we do these comment videos, B and I sit up here at the computer, and we kind of pick and choose the comments we go through. But in today's case, B was busy harvesting broccoli because she put a whole 25 pounds of broccoli up, something like that, which she filmed. I have no idea how to make an hour and 10 minutes of broccoli footage interesting, but I'll worry about that another day. But anyway, so I picked these out. So Bare Bottom Homestead, when you said the processing kitchen looks amazing and I hope to see it in action someday, so do I.
So do I.
Yeah, we're waiting on you.
There's a lot to do.
Yeah,
but I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Just dreaming of it.
Yeah. Well, we got the water behind the stove hooked up. I got the rest of the wall, the half, what do you call that? The wainscot, basically. Yep. Got the hood completely installed and operable. Got all the doors on the cabinets hung. Got the ceiling fans put in. So, yeah, and notice, you guys, what I said is I did those things.
I watched.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Bare Bottom Homestead, for helping me motivate my beautiful bride to get out to stop going on vacation. All right, Lucy Bourne. Now, Lucy's commented a lot on videos, and I think Lucy's the Terminator. A lot of the comments she makes, she does a lot of it the old way, and she does it all herself. And so I would love to get Lucy on the show sometime and have a conversation with her, because I think it'd just be super fascinating. But anyway, she says, "Good morning, Mr. Tag and Miss B. The processing kitchen looks amazing. I do everything the old way. I'm still waiting for the proper hydro in my cabin. I kind of do everything on my own. I believe I only ask once for help, and if I don't get it, I do it myself. So 95% of everything I've done myself. I'm jealous, Miss B, and you're so lucky to have Tag." Okay,
I am lucky to have
I want to
tag.
stress this sentence. This is really, really important. There's a message in here, Bethany. Okay? She says, I'm jealous, Miss B. You were so lucky to have tag.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Lucy. You're my hero.
I am lucky. We work great together. We work great. We work great together. Me watching you.
Yeah. What was that? Was a quote that one day? Working with you is like what?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you. You said it was harder. Yeah.
No, B came up to me and she said something about, we're getting a lot done, whatever. And I made a kind of a smart butt comment back to her, and I said, working with you is like working with half of myself.
Yeah.
And I think you took it as a compliment initially.
Yeah.
I was just playing. Okay, Dwight Heyer says, a friend of mine has a tiny van-style trailer that he has triple insulated and insulated a cooler. Being portable, it can go to a friend's house and other spots on the farm. I love the idea of the mobile cooler. I have a buddy that lives across the way in our town who wants to do exactly this, but we're looking for a cooler, looking for solutions on a cooler. I really want to get one put in because it will extend the harvest season. Right, it allows me to break it all. It's not so hard. In one day you got to put up, so much. Or when you're quartering an animal out or whatever, it buys me a little bit of time. Which because things always come up.
Yeah.
So I appreciate this, Dwight, and we're going to keep looking. Anybody has any other ideas, we would welcome it.
So they used it's movable.
Yes.
Why would you want it movable?
Well, think if we were going to
somebody else's homestead.
Grumpy Acres, right? So you guys know Grumpy Acres and us have been friends for a long time. They live not far from me. If we were going to go down there and do a goat or something, we could take a mobile system with us. I could set it up with solar, so it did it all by itself, or a generator, right? And
so it cools as it goes down the road. You don't have to plug it in here.
No, you have to create a mobile power source.
Okay, so it would have to, the panels and everything would have to go with it.
Or you have to plug it in when you got there, or whatever, whatever it is. So anyway, I really like the idea.
I'm open to any cooler suggestions.
Yeah, you just want a cooler.
Because just like when I harvested the broccoli, it had not flowered. It was not flowered on the plant, but when I cut it the night before, and then I processed it during the day. Well, in that 10-hour time frame, it flowered. Mm-hmm. So had I have stopped that enzyme process earlier, mm-hmm. It would have, and it's fine. It's edible. You just see.
It's just flowered.
It's flowered. Some of them.
On to pod 4. Mandy Garrett says, wow, that's a lot of concrete. I'm still trying to tackle a 10-foot by 10-foot. Laugh out loud. May I ask you if you bought that B-Mobile new or used at the auction or where, and may I ask how much? If you don't want to share the price, I totally understand. Guys, I will share any price I paid for anything with any of you guys. I have no secrets in it. I think it's a good thing. It's a good gauge to see, where you're at, what you can anticipate, but also did I do good or did I do bad? Because there's things I overpaid for. Yeah. Right, and there's things I got at a big discount. So I don't mind this at all. So to answer the question, it's a 2018. I bought it in 2020. I paid $13,000 for it at an auction. I know the farmer who was selling it. They had bought a brand new 2021, I think, at the time.
It was still under warranty.
It was still under warranty when we got it. But the thing to know, guys, about this particular machine, so it's a Kubota. It's really more of a tractor than it is a UTV. As you guys have probably seen in videos, we have two of them. I also have a Polaris that I use. It's way more fun. It's faster. Yeah. The B-Mobile won't get out of its own way. Top speed's 22 miles an hour. So you might ask, why in the world would you buy something like that? Well, it's because it's a tractor. It's got, a PTO on the back. She could run a tiller off the back of it.
Four-wheel drive.
It's four-wheel drive. It's got heat and air. It's got a hydraulic dump bed. Yep. It's just not meant to be, it's not a toy, it's a tractor. Yeah. It will haul a ton of weight. It's got a ton of power, a ton of torque. It's good for what B wanted in that machine is why we bought that machine. Yeah. But it's not fun. So anyway, $13,000, 2018, in 2020 at the auction from a farmer that I knew. Yep. Right?
Yeah.
All right. W says, yikes, that's a big room and a lot of work. Would it be safe to say that that's the hardest part?
The construction?
The concrete.
No. Oh, the concrete.
Yeah. See,
not for me. Not this time.
Yeah, it's because you don't ever do it.
Yeah. Well, I used to.
Mm-hmm. And you will again.
I'm
someday.
doing broccoli now.
Yeah. You've graduated from concrete to broccoli?
Yeah. Thank heavens.
You know, for me, I would say concrete's hard physically, but it's more hard mentally. And so I think it might be the hardest mental.
It's stressful.
Part. It's
because
stressful.
It's drying,
well, it's drying.
and it's hot, and
right.
The temperature is hot, and you're sweating,
right.
and you're pulling and pushing, and it's
Yeah.
heavy, and it's rocks.
I think the time frame is what makes it the hardest.
Yeah.
Because you're under a time crunch when really nothing else you are. I mean, I guess that's not totally true. When you start framing, you got to get going because the weather turns in. But
Yeah.
in concrete, you've got an hour and a half.
Minutes.
You're racing. So from that it is. I can tell you guys of the whole construction process. And you guys know I'm building pod number 4. I put the trusses on it yesterday. And so it will not be long and I'll have it weather tight. But I've done every construction job, every piece of building a house I have experience in. And the thing that I hate the most, which is not the hardest, but what I hate the most is drywall sanding.
Oh, yes.
You're so great at it.
I despise drywall sanding.
Yeah.
It is. It's hard to breathe.
Yeah.
It's hard to see.
Yeah.
You're like touching the wall to see. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
You can't even see it.
Yeah. The rest of it, I like the framing part. It goes quick. As you guys, I've got...
Framing goes quick.
I've got 2.5 days into the pod 4 now, and I built all the exterior walls, boomed the roof. Pretty quick I'll be sheeting the roof and building soffit and fascia and those kind of things. So, it won't take me a week like in straight time, but in just work time, because I got to leave and I go here and I go there and I do other things. But it'll take me about a week to get by myself.
Dried in.
And with some help from Tori to get it kind of dried in. Okay, Carol Jean 1 says... See here, we're still in the same video, okay? Looking great, y'all. Absolutely fantastic. I just noticed your other water source, your pool. My ingrown pool, I use it if we lose water, but we haven't so far. 19 yards is amazing. I like the little extra pouches. Great use of extra material.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so guys, I've said this many, many times before. Always have something else to pour. Because your ability to calculate the exact amount of concrete you need is hard, and the reason why it's hard is because what's underneath the concrete, the ground, moves.
Yeah.
Right? And you got dips and you got these kind of things. Unless you have a perfectly flat, perfectly level foundation underneath what you're going to pour, it's really hard. So what I always do is I calculate, and I go to concretecalculator.net is where I use it, and I calculate the concrete I need. I throw an extra yard of concrete in there, right? Because they're already going to deliver it out here, and then I make sure I've got a little sidewalk ready to go, or I've got a little something ready to go, so that any excess concrete can go somewhere.
Don't you have to, when you order concrete, you can't order like 10.5 yards, can you? Do you have to order to the next yard? Or can you order 10.25?
I've never ordered anything but to the next yard, but what I can tell you is it's a 4-yard minimum to get the truck out here.
Okay.
And if I order, let's say for example I needed 6 yards, and then we pour it and it's short,
then you have to order another 4 yards.
I have to order another 4 yards. Well, no, I can order 1 yard, but they're going to charge me for 4.
Okay. Oh.
Right? And so,
Yeah.
all bad.
And if you don't have any extra like porches or something to pour, we've talked about molds, like a planting box mold or a curb mold,
Right.
or
right. I would love to build some
something.
concrete raised planting boxes.
I would love for you to build me some concrete raised planting beds.
Yeah, not today.
Beds or boxes? Would you? Either.
Like a 16 foot by 4 foot wide, just big beds that you
couple.
could just put all your herbs in or whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool, but another time. All right, yeah, and
But that's something you can. Else you could do with the extra concrete if you have.
Right, you could actually just create molds and just reproduce them one after the other, after the other, after the other.
Yeah.
But anyway, she talks about our in-ground pool. We have a pool too. Even though
Water storage.
I want to take it down and never use it again, in my opinion. But that's just because we have this big, beautiful pond. Her and I go round and round about this, but yes, another great place to store water.
Yes.
On the auction time video, Chunky Applesauce. Now I know him fairly well. He's become a very good friend of mine. He's intelligent and he's calm and he's just a really, really good guy. So I don't know if he's prodding me, poking me, trying to get me to say something in this, but he says auctions are a great way to stretch a dollar if you're disciplined, which I try to be. What would you consider your greatest score at an auction? I bought a dump truck for, how much did I pay for it? $1,800? $1,200.
12.
I paid $1,200 for it at an auction in the middle of a rainstorm. There was like 4 people standing around it. Brought it home, barely used it, sold it a couple years later, almost tripled my money.
Yeah.
So that'd be my best one. What's yours?
My best auction find?
Yeah.
Probably the cabinets in the
Lockers looking things?
processing kitchen. Yeah, lockers?
They're
Is that what you
basically
call
a
them?
locker. Yeah, so these lockers are
2
basically
feet.
what you'd see like in a basic training barrack.
Okay, yeah.
2 big doors that open up, and they're heavy duty, and and all of that. And we bought them for $10 a piece.
$10 a piece?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're out in B's processing kitchen right now, but
And they are so handy.
Yep.
They're I haven't had any issues with them.
what I like about them is they're just so tough. They're thick.
Yeah.
They're not rinky-dink. Honey Hollow Homestead said, "I'm not real good at auctions. If I can keep up with the auctioneer, I usually get outbid."
That's me too. I'm not good at auctions. I don't even. You scratch your nose and you accidentally
No, you don't.
purchased a picture. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, it don't quite work like that, but
It seems like it.
it seems like it. I can tell you that I struggled keeping up early on, but now that I've gone to as many as I have, I don't have any problems with it. And here's the thing. She says I usually get outbid. Honey Hollow Homestead, so do I. The truth be told, I probably win 1 of 15 things I bid on.
Well, you have a price in your head,
Yes, I have a process.
and then you don't
Yep.
go over
That's
that.
right.
So.
I research them. I figure out what it costs, what's new, what I can find them for used. I try to do my research on the things that I really want, and I try to be disciplined, as Chunky Applesauce says, and stay to where I want to be. But that don't mean I always win. Sometimes I overpay on accident, or I didn't calculate it, and I could give you a few examples. But anyway, I'm glad you usually get outbid. That means you're doing it right. Julia Hovey says, I love this one too. She says, my best auction buy, an electric wheelchair. Hubby is a paraplegic and keeps to his manual chair for exercise. But having an electric chair in reserve in case something happens while he's unable to manually wheel himself around, nobody wanted to bid on it. I ended up getting the chair for $1.
Oh, wow.
Yep, the invoice in the back pocket of the seat was nearly $7,000. Best buy by far. Yeah.
She wins.
Yeah, Julia. I can't say anything else to it. Better than anything I've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go, girl. All right, Mongolian slave lord video. Danny and Wanda at Deep South said it's great to have your own hay to replenish your land with great mulch. I still have to say B is the best looking Mongolian slave driver I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Yes, it is great being able to produce our own mulch. We can do it both with the woods, because we have quite a bit of woods, and the hay.
Yep.
And it is nice, and B is the best looking Mongolian slave lord driver that I have ever seen, but it does not change the fact she's a Mongolian slave driver.
Just want it done.
Got anything else you want to say? That's all you got to say about all
No,
that?
I love that comment. Thank you. Thank you, Deep South.
Yeah. American Roots Farm says, I am so glad I found your channel. Your content is so valuable, and I appreciate you and your family holding the line.
Amen.
Amen. Yep. As my family and I work towards our dream homestead, it is good to know I can build community with like-minded individuals. Thank you for standing up for what you believe. I hope to see your farm one day. American Roots, I would welcome you to see my farm, and I would love to see what you got going on too. All we have is who we are.
Yep.
That's it. You don't have anything else. Everything else is make-believe. You guys, did you know that money is make-believe? It is. Dude,
Yeah.
follow a dollar. Okay,
Right.
so you get paid at $1 at your job.
Yeah.
Okay, you're taxed 30% on it. You're left with 70 cents. You take that 70 cents and you go to the grocery store, which you're going to lose 10 more percent. Then you're going to go buy gas and you're going to lose another 4 or 5%. By the time $1 travels to 3 different people, the government has managed to get 100% of their money back. It is make-believe. It is not real. The only thing that makes it real or even valuable is the belief that you can exchange that piece of paper for something else. So you can exchange the 30 cents that the by the time, I guess it's more about 40 cents that the government allows you to keep of every one of your dollars by the time they property tax you and mandate this insurance and all this. The 40 cents that you get to keep of every single dollar. If you buy assets with that, now you've got some real value. So from that perspective, there is. But guys, by the time a dollar travels, it isn't worth anything. You have got to take a stand on your own life and take responsibility for your own life. Start preparing for yourself. Start providing for yourself. If you don't, all you are is a modern day slave. American Roots Farm, thank you for the comment.
I was going to say, we keep on keeping on. You know, it is up to us. That
It's up to me.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for standing up for what you believe in. If we don't, what are we?
And there's
what
nothing
do
left.
We have?
Right. What world am I leaving to my grandkids that I don't even know yet? Or my great grandkids that aren't even born yet?
Right.
I mean, I think this matters. And American Roots Farm, thank you very much.
And as his family is working towards their dream homestead, good luck.
Yeah.
If there's anything we can do.
Yep. Reach out to us, tagandbe at lifedonefree.com.
Yep.
We would be happy to help in any way that we can. Pat Wiley, we know Pat. Pat says, you go girl, behind every great man is an even greater woman, and thanks for the laugh.
Woohoo! Yeah, yep. Pat.
Yeah, I would say that, I would reword that and say that behind an even greater woman is a great man. Because typically I'm following her around, but...
Yeah, well, yeah. That's it. That's why she says thanks for the laugh.
Yeah. Okay, Lisa Holloway says, laughing through this entire video, I spread some old hay on my garden a few years back. It works great. In the hay with some nitrogen-releasing plants like fetch. I let it grow for future nitrogen. Then she mentions the peak wheelbarrow. Says, B is looking like, what am I going to do with this? Harvesting and preserving up next. Can't wait to see your apron, Mr. Tag, when the Mongolian slave driver gets you in the kitchen.
Maybe you have graduated from the hefty bag. Maybe I should get you. Maybe I should get you an apron.
Maybe you should.
What should I put on his apron? That's put in the comments what I should put on his apron, and I will get him an apron.
Oh my God, this is all bad.
I'll make this look good.
Yep. I would, I'm not sure if I should thank Lisa or ban her.
No. You should thank her because you are not going to have to wear a hefty bag anymore.
Okay. I appreciate it.
I'll get your name on it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Paul, we got a lot of these. Paul Coburn says, keep them in line, B.
Right. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, I mentioned this in the comments. You don't need to encourage her.
Yes, thank you for the encouragement. Keep up the good work.
Oh my God. What's this, boys are supposed to be sticking together and all this story. It just doesn't work that way. You girls stick together in almost every comment.
The times are changed.
Okay,
we are sticking with the right side.
All right. And last but not least, Mandy Garrett says, that's a great working system you have there. We still fumble with getting our system to work eventually. I hope we will get our system tweaked and working like yours. Great teamwork. B is a beautiful slave driver. And Tag, I'm sure you're okay with that.
Yes.
See,
Thank you.
She even answers the question for me. Did you guys see that? Did you guys catch that right there?
Yes.
She told me the answer she wanted me to use.
I'm sure you are okay with that. I'm sure you are okay with that. Right? Tag?
You just had a whole lot of fun in this video, didn't you?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Thank you for all of the encouragement. We will continue to keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Right, honey?
All right, guys. Hey, listen, I got plenty to do. I've got a building to finish building. I know B's got to get in the garden. We'll keep doing these viewer comment videos. They're my favorite video to do. If we can do anything, make sure you leave a comment, send me an email. I'm happy to, get involved. And I guess until then, go out there and live a little bit freer today than you did yesterday. Hold the line. Don't give an inch. Tag out.
Be out.
See you guys.